I've started 2 businesses, 11 properties or projects that I've done in the last 4 years. So I feel like I have a lot of kind of boots on the ground knowledge and information. The first thing that I'd like to say is don't wait till you get to 100%. Start now. I see so many people that don't want to launch their website. They don't want to put their bars of soap at the local craft fair. They don't want to name their product. They don't want to start until they get it perfect. While you're waiting to get to 100, somebody else is going to break into the market at 70 or 75%. They're going to take your clients. They're going to excel, and they're going to beat you to the punch. You need to start, and you need to start now. The expectation that you're going to be at 100% isn't realistic. Every business, Apple, every successful entrepreneur, every successful person making $400,000 a year with multiple homes, fancy cars in the driveway, they started at less than 100%. So you need to just start, you need to learn, and you need to grow, and you need to do it now. And directly tying into that, progress rises like a thermostat. And I remind myself of this every single day. When you're looking at your goals down the road or your future, and it feels so daunting. It's so overwhelming, and you just want to get to the finish line. You don't want to go through those trenches. You don't want to go through the heartbreak. You don't want to go through the problems. I'm here to tell you need to. And actually, I think that that's the best value a business owner can do, is to go through that process. Anything that you do, there's steps involved. You can't start at the bottom of the staircase and jump all the way to the top. You have to go through that. So one of the examples that I'll use as far as progress in making mistakes is when we opened the boutique hotel, we did a soft opening in March and an official opening in April. And I spent thousands of dollars on these beautiful 100% cotton, high quality, thick, heavy quilts, or comforters more. And I thought, why is no one in the industry doing this? They're so beautiful. They feel so luxurious. And so I spent thousands of dollars. I washed them. I steamed them. I made these beds with them. I had professional photography taken with them. And within about 3 weeks of opening the hotel, I figured out why no one uses them, because they're impossible to clean. I couldn't find a washing machine big enough to wash a single king comforter in it. And so within a few weeks of opening, I took thousands of dollars of quilt or comforters and I threw them in the basement, and I had to spend thousands of dollars to buy new quilts. And now I know why everyone puts quilts on beds. That's just part of the process. And the other thing I think of the progress of a business owner is knowing your business from the front to the back. Every toilet in that hotel I have cleaned on my hands and knees. I've never asked a contractor, employee, staff to do something that I physically haven't done myself. You teach somebody to do a job for you if you don't know how to do it yourself. And I'm talking about the operational stuff. So, going through that progress of doing it myself and then hiring someone to do it for me and then perfecting it, that's a progress that starts at 0 and you have to go to 100. So I am a firm believer that hands-on, boots on the ground ownership is the best and creates the strongest type of entrepreneurs. My next lesson or little nugget of information is life is not math. There's more than one correct answer. And this is a daily task for me to remind myself of this. I have 3 children in school right now, and they're coming home daily with homework, and it's math and it's spelling and it's grammar, and there's one right answer. And if it's not right, you get the red line across and it's taken off of your score. But the truth of the matter is, I don't think life works like that. And I use this analogy for people when I'm explaining it. Imagine you're in a movie theater and there's 10,000 people watching the same movie. So obviously, every person is sitting in a different chair. So they have a somewhat slight or different perspective of the movie. And at the end of that movie, you ask 10,000 people to give you a review on that movie. I guarantee you're going to get 10,000 different answers, and they're all right. And when you get into some of these industries, service industries, hospitality industries, you need to look at someone else's perspective as to why they're asking that question, or they're complaining about that product, or um, looking for information or asking for a discount, you need to look at your client's perspective or the other side of that coin. The other person on the other side of the table you're negotiating with. And to provide an even better service, you need to look into the different layers of someone's ask as well. Perspective is one portion of it, but why? Are you looking at someone's why? Why is that person at the movie? Have they been waiting for this movie to come out for 3 months, and they've got their popcorn and their pop, and they're over the moon and back? Are they on a date and their boyfriend picked the movie out and they don't even want to be there? Are they at the movie because it's 100 degrees outside and they don't even care about the movie? They literally just wanted to sit in an air-conditioned chair for 2 hours. There's so many layers to people and what they're doing. And I think sometimes we think of life as math class and it's one right answer and everything else is wrong. And that's just honestly not the way life works. I think we've all been in a conversation with somebody where they make a statement or they answer a question and they think they're 100% right. And you're across the table looking at them going, it's not right. How can you both be right? Or you both be wrong? You can't, because there isn't, life isn't two sides to the same coin. It's not yes or no. It's not black or white. It's so much more to that. And I think successful entrepreneurs understand that. And I'll give you this very specific example that I use this example every time I'm having a struggle with somebody else's ask or why with me. We took this 200-year-old building downtown Prescott and we converted it into a hotel. That's the very short answer. My perspective, my why, the emotion behind why I did it is very personal. I live in this community, part of the community. I have 3 children to go to school in this community. The building that we bought is right across the street from the place that I buy my coffee every morning. And so I fell in love with the building and I just had to fix the building. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. So I went on a year mission. I worked with the state of Wisconsin. I worked with the community. I worked with the fire department, the chief of police. There was a year of planning just for me to buy this building. When I bought the building, the property line literally sits on the 4 corners of the building. I don't own a piece of grass. I literally own 4 walls, a roof, and a ceiling. That's it. It's a box, an empty box. So we went in there with these expectations, and every time I would ask the architect a question, or I would ask the code readers, or I would ask the state of Wisconsin for approval, or I would ask the chief of police a question, for every 10 answers I was asked, 9 of them were no. And so the end result is a beautiful building, a thriving business, but I couldn't do exactly what I wanted to do. It was like going through a maze. I was very limited. So when a client will come into that space and they'll make a complaint, your hallway's too skinny. And my mind automatically erupts. And it's like, do you understand that I spent $20,000 on architects? It took me over a year to get this approved. Like, you have no idea what I've been through, what I've gone through, the energy and the process I went through to make this building. And it's amazing. And you're going to complain about the hallway? Well, guess what? Their perspective is different. Their why is different. Their emotion behind that comment is completely different. That's about them. That has nothing to do with me. So I always have to rein myself back in, and I have to, kind of visualize the theater. Where are they sitting compared to where am I sitting? Why are they there compared to why am I there? What's the emotion behind the conversation? And just realize that they don't understand. And so that's okay. So you answer the question and you move on. So that's a very big one for me. Number 4, being copied is a sign of success and proof that a person copying you isn't competition. And I'm not asking you to reinvent the wheel here. If you want to open up a llama farm, you could go to the YouTube, you could go to the public library, you can find 100 books on how to start a llama farm. I don't need you to reinvent the wheel, and frankly, that would make absolutely no sense. But what I am looking for you to do is, if you want to be an entrepreneur, take the information, take the success from somebody else, especially if they're sharing it in a book or a tutorial, but make it your own. Don't copy someone. And the example that I use with that is I'm very often making Google ads, Facebook ads, advertising, marketing for my companies. And I'm in a number of networking groups. And so I will screenshot things. I will save an image. I will copy a phrase or a quote that somebody else has used as marketing. And I have a file and I save all of those. And so on when I'm going in and I'm like, okay, I want to make a marketing tool for Christmas. I'll go in and I'll look at the Christmas and I'll look at what other people are doing and other successes people are having. But I'm not going to copy it. I'm going to change the wording. I'm going to look for something that sparks my attention that day, whether it's a picture or a phrase or a comment. And then I'm going to build something around that as inspiration. I have had competitors literally take my ad from start to finish and copy it and use it as a plug and play. And the one time I not caught them, but I came across their marketing where it was literally my marketing. I thought that they had actually taken my ad as inspiration and then inadvertently posted it, thinking that they had posted their own and just maybe grabbed the wrong image or the wrong photo. Nope, they didn't. They had actually taken right down to the exact emojis, the format that I had done, everything, to the point where I thought it was my ad. I had to actually read it to see that they had changed, maybe every fourth word or a few of the phrases, and they had copied it. And at first I got really angry. I was thinking, do you have any idea how much, back to the perspective, back to the emotion, back to those layers, do you have any idea how much time and effort? And no, they don't. And I don't think they care at the time. But when somebody copies you, just stop and say thank you. I'm glad that you're choosing me to be the stick that you're measuring yourself with. I appreciate that, and just move on. There's no point in fighting about it. But the nugget of truth in here, the wisdom I want you to walk away with is successful small entrepreneurs are people that think outside the box. They're innovative. They're proactive. Somebody that's going to take the time to simply copy you and use that as a face of their business is not competition to you. They're not being proactive. They're being reactive. They're not being innovative. And frankly, they're just not going to be your competition. So say thank you. Put them in the box of no competition. Don't worry about what they're doing, and just move on forward. And that's a big lesson in our industry, especially with hospitality and market or the vacation rental industry. Copying happens a lot, and it comes up a lot in these groups. And so another little nugget, I just stop, remind myself to say thank you, remind myself to put them in the file of non-competitors and move on. Number 5, being in business means you're going to make enemies. This kind of bounces right off the previous statement. I don't know a business owner who's been in business more than a year who hasn't had to tell somebody no, who hasn't been in a negotiation that went sideways, and frankly, who hasn't made enemies. So much of this world today is Instagram and social media and TikTok. And let's be honest, people show you the side of business that they want you to see. They want you to be envious. They want you to look up to them. They want you to believe that the $600,000 came easy and the Lamborghini in the driveway and they show you that, but they don't show you the ugly. They don't show you laying in bed at night, worrying about if you're going to be able to pay the mortgage. They don't show you the heartbreak when somebody criticizes your work that you've put years into, and in one sentence, somebody comes in and just breaks your heart. They don't show you the ugly. They don't show you, on your hands and knees, scrubbing floors, getting a phone call at 6:00 in the morning and your cleaner called in sick, and you have to choose between getting your property ready for incoming guests or driving your kids to school. There's a lot of hiccups. There's a lot of tears. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot that goes into the arena of being a business owner. And I think so many people nowadays just want the easy. And I don't personally believe that being an entrepreneur is easy. I think you have to have the passion and the fire inside of you. I think that the entrepreneurs that I know, the ones that I keep in my tribe, the ones that I use for inspiration, are in the trenches fighting every day. And that's just part of the deal. And honestly, I don't think we'd have it any other way. I wouldn't want it if it came easy. That doesn't resonate with me. I think a true entrepreneur is utterly proud of who they are and what they've done and what they've accomplished. And having someone hand you something it just doesn't fulfill that. So again, you're going to make enemies in this, and you're gonna have to tell people no. There's going to be tears, there's going to be bloodshed, and that's just part of the deal. Number 6, commodities are bought and sold, exclusive prospers, and this is directly to small businesses. Being able to walk into a situation, a hotel. Who hasn't stayed in a hotel? Everyone stayed in a hotel. But to be able to take that and turn it into an experience where in a pandemic, if competitors had to start closing their doors, or the number of people that are traveling are less, where basically your pool of prospective clients is smaller, small businesses that offer something different, that offer a different service, prosper. It's very simple, especially if you look at that 25 to 45 year age group right now. You look at Airbnb, which is the largest rental agency in the world. They don't own a single house. You look at Uber. You look at delivery services. The target market for the people that are buying in the next generation of clientele are experience driven. They are not tangible assets. So you need to tap into that, whatever that looks like for your business, whether it's a handwritten thank you card. It can be as simple as at our hotel, we do these we call them like little travel emergency kits, and we put lost my train of thought there. Sorry. We put little different things. We put a granola bar in there. We put a piece of chocolate. We put Advil in case they're coming in for, cocktails. We put earplugs. So if they're traveling and they're somewhere they're new and they want to put earplugs in. So we put all these little, and it cost us $1, but we put a little thank you on there, and we put all these little trinkets in there, and people absolutely love them. We get the best feedback from them. And that's different. You don't see that when you go to different places. So finding something that you can do that just sets you apart, unique experiences is where it's going to be at, in my opinion. I think that's the way the industry is going, and I think it's very important to be different. If you're looking at 4 options for a restaurant, and you're going to have fun, or there's a signature cocktail, or there's just something unique that you can't get somewhere else, you're going to go to that place. So I think that's very important. And then my favorite and my last one is, what room are you in? And this goes back to a quote I heard years ago. And I do this to myself regularly, and I'll say, are you the smartest person in the room? Because if you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. Get out and run. Don't even walk, just run to the exit. And this goes back to a lot of these other things too: progress, growth, going through the trenches, having someone to lean on. You're not going to grow if you're always the smartest person in the room. It's just not going to happen. There's so much positive energy and knowledge and support that people will give you, but most of the time that's going to come from somebody who's done it before, has more intelligence, more experience, and is just frankly smarter than you. So I often will do that, and that kind of pivots into also, a lot of times we stay where we're comfortable. We open doors that are comfortable to us. We stay in networking groups that are comfortable to us. And sometimes we have to open up doors like us, because that's going to force us to grow. That's going to put us in a situation where we're forced to react, but we're forced to make a decision. We're forced to grow. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought on that one too. But, basically what I'm trying to say is that if you're always the smartest person in the room, you're not going to grow. You're going to be teaching other people, and they're going to grow. But you need to stretch yourself. You need to put yourself in a situation you're not 100% prepared for. You need to be asked a question you don't have the answer for, and you need to pivot on your feet. So putting yourselves in those situations, opening up doors that are too big for you, hanging out with people that are smarter than you, that have better experience from you, is one of the building blocks for, in my opinion, how to grow, and how to be better, and how to be a good entrepreneur.